All right, so you're just over here minding your own business on the internet, and then, suddenly you stumble onto this weird coded message. And all it says is, we are looking for highly intelligent individuals. And then the next clue is on a lamppost in Paris. Yeah, that is Cicada 3301. The internet mystery so complicated that cryptographers, hackers, mathematicians, linguists, and some very intense Reddit people still haven't solved. It's been over a decade, and we still don't know who created it, what it was recruiting for, or whether the winners were contacted by someone. Are you ready for one of the internet's greatest unsolved mysteries? Welcome back to Why Not Talk About It, the podcast where we unpack the world's most chaotic stories, mysteries, cults, conspiracies, crimes, and of course, cultural moments, one glass at a time. Today, we are going deep into Cicada 3301. You guys, this story, oh my God, it has coded messages, hidden photos, darknet websites, dead drops in foreign countries, legendary puzzles, genius level cryptography, ancient texts, obscure references, and absolutely zero closure. So, spoiler alert, sorry. It's like, I don't even know, it's like National Treasure meets Escape Room meets I Need to Touch Grass. And if you've never heard of it, strap in. Probably bring yourself a helmet too, because this shit is about to be a wild ride. It all started on January 4th, 2012, when an image appeared on 4chan's X board, which is the paranormal board, and it was simply titled Welcome. It's a plain black background with white text. Hello, we are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test. There is a hidden message in this image. Find it, and it will lead you to the next clue. No username, no signature, no fucking explanation, right? Just what the hell. But that hidden message line, that is where the chaos begins. Because this was not a simple puzzle. Inside that image was steganography, which, for those of you who don't know, which is probably almost everyone, steganography is the art of hiding secret messages inside ordinary files. So like images, audio, or text. Basically, so no one knows the message is there. Okay, so inside this image, there's steganography, encryption, layers of code, a hidden URL, and the next step in what would become a global treasure hunt. People extracted the hidden text, well, those who actually could, got a link, opened it, got another clue. And also, can we just talk really quick about the fact that this whole thing started on 4chan. If you don't know 4chan's X board, the paranormal, it's basically the digital equivalent of like a basement lit with one flickering light bulb. It's where creepy pastas go to die. It's where cursed images are born. I can't, real but probably fake ghost photos. Yeah. So it's unhinged. It's honestly, it's the perfect place for Cicada to drop the first clue, if you really think about it. I mean, where else could they have really gotten away with this shit? And people take it seriously. But yeah, because that paranormal, X board, nothing is too weird there. And the fact that this thing still stood out, that tells you something. All right, so after they get their next clue, the clues go international. Yes, like real life locations. So after they open that link, the next step led solvers to coordinates posted around the world, taped, like with tape, to actual physical locations in multiple countries. I mean, we're talking Paris, Warsaw, Sydney, Seoul, San Francisco, Miami, and allegedly Moscow, apparently. And each coordinate led to either a lamppost or a sign or a telephone pole with a sheet of paper literally taped to it containing a QR code, the Cicada logo, plus another hidden message, plus another cryptographic key. Who the hell has the resources to be placing clues in 6 countries at the same time? Please make it make sense. However, this is when people stopped thinking it was a prank and they were like, okay, maybe this is real. Because seriously, imagine you're just sitting there solving this puzzle online, and then suddenly it goes from, oh, cool little internet game, and oh, here's a GPS coordinate in Paris. Good luck. You have however much time to get there. People are probably like, what the fuck? That escalated quickly because this instantly meant 2 things. 1, this wasn't just some random guy in his basement. And 2, someone physically traveled or, had insiders in all of these cities before the puzzle launched. That level of planning, that is not prank energy. That, some college project, okay? That's highly organized, a whole situation going on there, right? So here's what we've got to realize about this whole thing. Cicada puzzles, they weren't like Sudoku, okay? These damn puzzles required a whole ass list, and I'm about to run through it. Okay, so first of all, heavy cryptography, which, for those of you who don't know, that is the science of keeping information secret or secure by turning it into codes. It also required ciphers, book codes, steganography, which again is the art of hiding secret messages inside of ordinary files. It required PGP signatures, which is a digital stamp that proves a message really came from the person who claims to have sent it. Tor hidden services, which are websites that exist on the dark web, only accessible through the Tor browser. The Visionaire cipher was an old school code that uses a keyword basically to scramble the message. It required prime numbers, modular arithmetic, which is basically math done in loops, kind of like a clock. It required ancient literary references, poetry, runic alphabets, which are, old alphabets used by ancient Germanic and Norse cultures, music theory, which is the rules and patterns behind how music works. So, notes, scales, chords. Norse mythology, the old mythological stories of Vikings, so Odin, Thor, Loki, runes, etc. And it required cryptographic hashing, which is turning data into a unique fingerprint of numbers and letters. And it's used to verify that information hasn't changed. The puzzles that were referenced were William Gibson, who is a sci-fi author who basically invented the concept of cyberspace. Agrippa the Occultist, it was a 1500s writer known for books on magic, alchemy, astrology, and of course the occult. Fibonacci, which is the famous number sequence where each number is the sum of the 2 before it. So you've got like 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, blah, blah, blah. You've got Mayan numerology, which is the number system and cosmic mathematics of the ancient Maya civilization. Good old Moby Dick, the 1851 novel about a man obsessed with hunting a giant white whale. And obscure mathematical theorems, advanced, often niche math rules used for solving complex puzzles. So essentially, you literally needed programmers, mathematicians, historians, linguists, musicians, hackers, and cybersecurity experts all working together. And guess what? Even then it was hard. This is a puzzle designed to literally filter out actual geniuses. Like, listen, this wasn't a BuzzFeed quiz. Normal people, they couldn't solve this shit. I mean, I mentioned Sudoku. I can barely do Sudoku. This wasn't, some pick some outfit and we'll tell you what kind of bread you are quiz. You could stare at these puzzles for 6 hours and walk away dumber. I mean, there were entire Discord servers before Discord even existed, basically forming underground study groups. People dropped out of college courses trying to learn enough number theory just to keep up. Some solvers literally wrote programs just to decode certain steps. It's just incredible. I mean, meanwhile, I can't even fucking remember what I had for lunch yesterday. So, it's just unbelievable. Okay, so now let's get more into this whole dark web situation. The dark web isn't like the evil version of Google Chrome. It's basically parts of the internet that aren't indexed or searchable. You need a special browser called Tor, and Tor basically bounces your connection through multiple servers worldwide. So your location is essentially hidden. You're pretty much moved off of the public internet and into the darknet. So when Cicada moved the puzzle onto Tor, that meant pretty much they were basically saying, we only want the people who really care and who actually know what they're doing. All right, so once they were on the Tor hidden service, there they found more instructions, more riddles, cryptographic keys, a timed release of clues. So who the hell was in charge of that? I want to know. And most importantly, warnings to not work in teams. That last part is interesting because Cicada wanted individual solvers only. People who teamed up were allegedly just straight up disqualified and cut off from later clues. So, this led to all kinds of things, such as, betrayal, drama, sabotage, people withholding clues, alliances breaking down. It legit became like a full-on Hunger Games situation. It's just insanity. All right, so what about the people who actually reached the end? The winners, if you will. So there's a small group that claims that they solved the full puzzle. They then, submitted their information, which was that clear? Were there clear instructions on that? Because I feel like that would have taken me forever just to figure out how to submit it. Then they were invited into a private forum and received a PGP signed message, again, pretty much proving that it was Cicada. These winners pretty much said that the group encouraged encrypted communication. They discussed things like philosophy, privacy, and, of course, cryptography. Big surprise there. They emphasized freedom of information. And overall, they just kind of had like an ideological vibe. Then, all of a sudden, Cicada went silent. No follow-up, no instructions, no recruitment, nothing. So, some of the solvers believed that they were being like observed, which is so creepy, or that like only the best individuals were contacted privately, that maybe they had failed the ideological test. Some thought that maybe the group just dissolved, or even that the winners were recruited, but discreetly. But unfortunately, we have no record of what actually happened. It's just a big old fat mystery. However, what we do know is that the people who got in, they described it like walking into a digital monastery. It's very minimalistic. Everything was all encrypted. Everything was, PGP signed. Very like, we are watching you, but also welcome to the club kind of energy going on. You know what I mean? And apparently it wasn't about hacking at all. It was philosophy, privacy ethics, like, I don't know, like a digital version of Knights Templar, if Knights Templar cared about cryptography and Linux. All right, so fast forward exactly 1 year later. We are now in 2013. Cicada returned, this time with a new image, new puzzles, and even harder challenges. Are you kidding me? I feel like the first round was hard enough. I wasn't there. I don't fucking know. But it just sounds incredibly difficult. And it got even harder. Anyway, so this continued for, well, 2 more years, but a total of 3 years. So the first one was in 2012. The second round was in 2013, and the third was in 2014. Each puzzle was more elaborate, more cryptic, more philosophical, and honestly just more inaccessible. But what I will say is the fact that they came back exactly 1 year later, down to the day, January 4th, makes it feel, I don't know, ritualistic, very intentional for sure. Like that shit wasn't random at all. It wasn't a one-time stunt. I mean, it was a pattern, it was a structure, and apparently they had a timeline going on. But then all of a sudden, yet again, Cicada stopped. But for good this time. There was no puzzle in 2015, except a message that looked like Cicada, but it wasn't signed with the real PGP key. Cicada did later post, though, beware of false paths. Do not trust any unsigned messages. Which means Cicada was still watching. They weren't active, but they sure as shit were still watching. And I'm sorry, but that is so creepy. Right? Does anyone else find that creepy? Okay, so I know we're all wondering by this point, who is Cicada 3301? Well, we're going to have to go through the 7 theories that exist today regarding this whole cryptic situation. All right, so theory number 1 is that it was a CIA or NSA recruitment program. This is apparently the most popular theory. Arguments for this theory are that intelligence agencies do use puzzles to recruit, because, I mean, they do. NSA has an annual public puzzle contest. The complexity matches government cryptographers. The global clues imply resources. Yes, they sure do. And the skills required match intelligence work. But no agency has ever claimed any responsibility. The general tone of the Cicada messaging felt just very anti-government. And Cicada seems too philosophical, you know what I mean, to be government related, but it is still possible. And honestly, if this was the NSA, this was the coolest recruitment strategy they've ever used. Like, forget career fairs, just drop an internet riddle and see which geniuses show up. I mean, I'm here for it. I mean, not really. I would have no business there, obviously. All right, so theory number 2 is a hacker collective or cybersecurity group. People think Cicada was maybe a cryptographic think tank. They could have been a privacy activist group, a modern, anonymous style movement, recruiting talent for, whatever. Or even gathering minds to build secure communication programs. You never know. Why? Well, Cicada's messages mention freedom of information. They also highly emphasize privacy, encryption, and anti-censorship. And participants who reach the end claim political, philosophical discussions. I don't know. To me, it feels very cypherpunk. Is that a thing? Well, it is now. I don't know. This one feels the most Reddit, like a group of gifted introverts who meet twice a year at DEF CON and say things like, actually, that's not how encryption works. You know what I mean? Those people. All right. So theory number 3 is a secret society / potentially an occult group. This one is a little wild. People point to the various different occult references, the numerology used in these puzzles, ancient manuscripts that were referenced, medieval symbolism, cryptic poetry. God, could poetry get any worse? Now it's cryptic. Can't even imagine. Initiation ritual vibes, hierarchical structure, and phrases like, quote, those who know. Some think Cicada is essentially Freemasons 2.0, or just pretty much like a modern cult of intellectual mystics. That is a choice. All right, so now we are on to theory number 4, which poses that it was either a single genius or a small group. Some some people believe it's just one savant, just one man or woman or whatever, just out there fucking doing all this shit, which to me is completely unbelievable. Some people believe it's, like a cryptography professor or a niche group of extremely smart friends. I mean, this would explain the handcrafted feel of these puzzles, the obscure literary references, the philosophical tone, blah blah blah. But how would one person place clues in multiple countries simultaneously? That's the one that gets me. How? I don't know. One person isn't flying to Warsaw to tape a QR code on a random lamppost in the middle of the week. I'm sorry. That's who does that? Okay, now we are on to theory number 5, which is the idea that it was a tech company recruiting talent. So, some people think it was a startup. It could be some of those, early cryptocurrency guys, um, just general security firms or DARPA contractors. And for those of you who don't know, the DARPA is the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. So pretty much just the U.S. Department of Defense's agency for developing advanced technologies for national security. Okay, so companies, they do recruit through puzzles, but Cicada's anti-corporate energy just feels, I don't know, off-brand. And also the fact that it was too philosophical for a corporate pipeline, in my opinion. But again, still possible. All right, so now we are on to theory number 6, which is simply that it was a project that lost control of itself. Some of the solvers believe that Cicada started as just this small little ideological project, then it exploded, it grew way too big, imposters started flooding in, the founders panicked, they shut it down and continued privately, potentially. This is the one, in my opinion, that makes the most sense, but we will get more into what I think in a little bit. All right, so let's get into theory number 7, which is the shadow recruitment theory. This is where things get pretty creepy. So some people believe winners were recruited, but into what is obviously unknown still to this day. Some describe getting mysterious follow-up emails. I would like more information on that. Others say they were asked to complete philosophical essays. And some people claim that they were being watched, which is horrifying. I mean, gross. They're sending you emails. They're probably calling you, watching you. Oh my God. I mean, the audacity. These people worked so hard to solve these damn puzzles and now they're being stalked. Come on now. Anyway, and then other people just mysteriously disappeared from forums. I don't know, it feels very like spy kind of whatever. I don't know. That's creepy though. I don't like that at all. Okay, so now we are moving on to the bonus conspiracy, theory number 8. And this is the just because theory. This is the one that no one really discusses, but what if Cicada was created by people who simply, I don't know, wanted to make something beautiful, brilliant, mysterious, fuck with people's minds? I mean, maybe it wasn't a cult, maybe it wasn't a recruitment tool, just a piece of interactive art that got way bigger than they expected. Like the world's smartest art project. I don't know, digital Mona Lisa, no signature, no PGP. We'll never know. We'll never know. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about why people think Cicada vanished. Because the disappearance is almost as mysterious as puzzles themselves, right? I mean, that's what I think. Why do all this and just disappear? Okay, so there are 4 major ideas around why they disappeared. So, number 1, they found who they needed. This is the cleanest explanation. The Idea is that Cicada, it wasn't meant to be a long-running internet game. It was a recruitment pipeline. Once they identified the right people, the strongest individual solvers, again, individual, they did not want people doing it in teams, then the mission was complete. Puzzle done, recruitment over, curtain closed. And I guess for everyone else, silence. I think that's a little rude, but whatever. All right, so idea number 2, they were compromised. By the second and third years, the puzzles had gotten too much attention. People were creating fake clues, posting counterfeit PGP signatures, and just straight up pretending to be Cicada. Some solvers claimed that these imposters were even showing up at real life clue locations. There were copycat puzzles, knockoff versions, and just forums full of all kinds of noise. So I don't know, if Cicada was truly a small private group, all the impersonation attempts might have made continuing impossible. So, okay, idea number 3. They feared law enforcement attention. Who doesn't, right? So once the media picked up the story and once, thousands of people started digging into the dark web clues or whatever, Cicada stopped being a quiet little recruitment experiment and became a headline. Law enforcement agencies started poking around. Cyber security experts started writing articles. They were online linking Cicada to hacking, espionage, terrorism, all kinds of just wild speculation. But I mean, can you blame them? Like, I don't know. They were so cryptic and secretive and mysterious. When you leave people to their own imagination, what do you think is going to happen, right? So anyway, I mean, if they were an intelligence group or even like a hacker collective, the spotlight would have just been too risky. Simple as that. All right, and finally, idea number 4 is that they went private. This is the theory that most longtime solvers believe. Instead of ending, Cicada may have simply just moved underground. Can someone please tell me where this underground situation is for all these creepy people? Because, is it literally underground or are they just under some sort of radar? I know, I'm an idiot. I don't understand. Anyway. All right, so only the people who fully solved the 2012 to 2014 puzzles may have received new links, new keys, new instructions, but we don't know. There may still be a private forum or encrypted channel where the project continues today, just not publicly and not for all the rest of us dumbasses. But then we still have, we have some solvers who claim that they were just straight up ghosted, and others claim that they were quietly contacted. But let's talk about this really quick. What if Cicada is still active privately? There's a small group of solvers who swear they still get occasional encrypted messages, not from the public Cicada accounts, but from keys that match old original signatures. Meaning, if those messages are real, someone from the original group is still alive, still online, and still testing people. And still fucking watching. Again, mind you, that is so creepy, right? Do we know if that's true? Absolutely not. No, of course we don't. But does it make the story much spicier? 100%. Yes, it does. But the truth? No one knows. No one knows. And Cicada 3301 has never explained itself. Not once. Not publicly, not privately, not anonymously, which honestly just makes the whole thing even weirder. All right, are you ready for some even more creepy, like what the fuck details? Okay, let's get into it. All right, so first off, it appears that only a few people reached the final stage, which, based on what we know, is quite an accomplishment. Congratulations. So yeah, that's it. I mean, just a few people out of God, how I'm imagining thousands. Only a few reached the final stage. All right, number 2. People found clues that literally vanished hours later, which further supports my personal belief that it could not have been just one person doing all of this. Like, They had to have had multiple people posted at each of these locations all over the world, making the post at a certain time, like, literally taping up the QR code or clue or whatever, and then secretly hanging around for a few hours and then just removing it. I don't know. It's bananas. Okay, number 3. Cicada warned participants to avoid imposters, meaning they again were monitoring everything. How do you monitor all of the things on the great big wide internet that may or may not have anything to do with your fucked up little mental game puzzle thing that you're doing? Like, how would you even find these other imposters? I don't know. It's crazy to me. Okay, number 4. No one can explain the name Cicada 3301. Point blank. No one knows. The hell does it mean? What does cicada mean? You know what? Hang on. I'm going to Google that really quick. Okay, I Googled it and I'm even more confused. Basically just a big old bug. A cicada, the bug. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so number 5. Many clues referenced esoteric authors that nobody reads. I mean, we're talking like Aleister Crowley, Jorge Luis Borges, Agrippa the Occultist, Umberto Eco, Charles Fort, William Gibson, and even deep cut literary weirdos like Rimbaud, Mackin, and Pynchon. I mean, I'm sorry, who the okay, I don't know. I've never even heard of these people. You know what? That's not true. I've heard of Aleister Crowley. Yeah. And then Agrippa the Occultist. Okay, a couple of them, but I've never read them, that's for sure. Okay, number 6. Some solvers reported receiving very weird phone calls afterward, and we'll get into that in a sec. Yeah, so remember they were getting the emails, people were fucking just watching them and spying on them, getting weird phone calls. Absolutely not. That crosses a line. I'm sorry. All right, number 7. Finally, number 7. Allegedly, one puzzle required solving a code that was hidden inside an ancient book printed backwards. Let me repeat that. One of the puzzles required solving a code hidden inside an ancient book that was printed backwards. I mean, this is the level of insanity we're talking about. I have no words. All right, so now let's talk really quick about these fucking phone calls. One solver said that they got a call from an unknown number, and when they answered, nobody spoke, but the line clicked 3 times. So it was kind of like someone was testing the connection. Okay. We've got another solver who claims they got an email saying you were close. And then when they tried to reply to the email, the address just didn't exist anymore. How do you do that? How do you make an email address not exist? Do you just delete the account? Can it be done that quickly? I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. Are these real? Are they not real? Who knows? But the fact that multiple people reported similar things definitely adds to the whole mysterious, secretive, creepy vibe. And honestly, those details only make the biggest question even louder, I feel like. Who or what was who was Cicada 3301 and what was it really about? Right? I mean, there are no other questions. I mean, it's been over a decade and we still don't know. Was it the CIA? Was it some cyberpunk geniuses? A secret society, a hacker cult? What was it? A tech startup, or just, I don't know, the world's smartest bored person? Hey, maybe it was all of the above. Either way, Cicada is it's one of those rare internet legends that it remains unsolved. That's it. We have no answers. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, but what I can tell you is after deep diving this entire thing. Here's my personal theory, because I can't get through a whole episode without obviously weighing in. I genuinely believe that Cicada 3301 was either A, recruiting for something, or B, trying to gauge the public's overall intelligence, kind of like a global IQ test for the internet elite, or honestly, C, could be both. To me, the why is definitely the most confusing part, because whoever was behind this, they clearly weren't doing it for clout. They weren't trying to go viral. They weren't selling anything. They didn't even stick around long enough to enjoy the attention. Well, actually, I mean, they were kind of still watching the whole damn time, so whatever. But the one theory that I really don't think I buy is that it was the government. Usually it's always the government, but for some reason this time I just am like, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't feel CIA energy here. And I don't think this was a company either. I mean, no, tech bro startup is this philosophical, this anti-corporate, or mysterious. I don't know. The vibe, it just feels more like bored elite genius billionaires who have just unlimited time and access to global resources, or a small private circle of like hyper intelligent people who just wanted to see who else was out there, which I don't know, it's kind of basically the same thing, but I don't know, who knows. But I will say this. I do think that Cicada, it might have just lost control of itself. Like maybe, okay, maybe it started out as this small private, beautifully designed project for a handful of people, and then suddenly it just blew up way bigger than they ever expected, which happens a lot, you know. Yeah, too many eyes, too many copycats, too many imposters, too many people tracking the clues in the real world, and then the creators were just like, well, shit, I guess we're done, and then they just bailed. But why? That's the part that drives me crazy. What was the end game? Why build the most complex internet puzzle of all time and then just disappear? So yeah, my official take is that it was either recruitment for something, or they were just trying to gauge general intelligence. But I don't know. And it may have just been a project that accidentally completely spiraled out of their control, like I said. But the purpose behind it is still the strangest and most confusing part of all of this, and it continues to live rent free in my brain. But what do you think? Who do you think is behind it all? Do you have any theories on what the whole point of this was? Do you think Cicada will ever start up again? Maybe, another round of puzzles. Did you or anyone you know happen to solve any of these puzzles? I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts. So please be sure to leave a comment or email me at winenottalkpodcast@gmail.com. And if you like this episode, head on over to winenotpod.com. Go ahead, submit an episode topic idea. We have to hear what you want. Come on now. Send us a listener confession. What the fuck you been up to? Come on, tell us all your dirty secrets. Join the Poor Decisions Club on Patreon. All kinds of fun perks over there. Literally $5 a month. Buy us some wine. Subscribe to After Hours, the weekly newsletter. And hit us up on Instagram at Wine Not Talk Pod. All right, that is it for today, but I will see you guys next Thursday for another wild episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Bye.